Well, this is Hair Loss University, and we have a very special midweek update interview with Cathy Mack, one of our members of our Hair Loss University. And we're sharing this also simultaneously with our regular page, our public Hair Loss University Facebook page, as well as our YouTube, because we think she's got some incredible questions right after the relationship of us working with our team on marketing for a model. So this is on the marketing side of a hair replacement practice and the area of business, creating the ability to find a model. So without any further ado, let me introduce to you Miss Cathy. Cathy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Cathy, introduce yourself and where you're from. And I see all those beautiful diplomas on behind you. It's just wonderful, the education that you have created for yourself. Give us a little history, in a context of what you're doing and where you're doing it at.
Yes. Well, my name is Cathy Mack, and I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. Woo-hoo. Well, basically here in my practice, I do hair replacement. So I've been doing that over about 15 years in hair restoration. So I do both. So if I can't help you on hair restoration side, then I will help you with hair replacement.
Amen. That's beautiful. So you take it through trichology, if they're early stage hair loss prevention, or
Yes.
scalp, and the hair replacement as well. How long have you been in the professional field?
As a master hair care specialist, over 20 years.
Oh my
Over 20
goodness.
years in doing that. But then, my aunt is the one, she ended up with breast cancer. So even though it's still my dad, I was connected to Look Good, Feel Better because of my dad. He had lymphoma, but then my aunt developed breast cancer. So that's what kind of geared me towards doing a little bit more research on hair loss to be able to, help her and others.
It's amazing because I would tell you that over 70% of our members in our Hair Loss University have had a life experience, whether personally or family or close friend, and that posted them right into the wonderful work that we do with transforming lives through hair replacement. That's really wonderful.
Yes.
How's your mom doing? Just to ask.
How is who?
How's your mom? How did your mom go through the cancer?
Oh, it was my aunt. She went through it. Yes, she went through it real well. So she's one of my hair replacement clients because the doctor kind of like gave her a double dose to make sure that the cancer didn't return back. So it kind of affected her in that area as far as her hair coming back. So therefore, she is one of my hair replacement clients.
Oh, that's great. That is great. That's good. Well, let's do this. We have just started 1 month now in the Hair Loss University membership. We have gone through the 4 pillars, which is a business and technical and marketing and consultation. And now we've started to break it apart so that we could help market all of our members, you being one of them. And the first marketing campaign was to find a model, because as I've said on the coaching sessions every Monday, a model is the must, whether you're training on the model, and probably your mom was your model for so many years, I'm sure. But in turn, you need that model to be able to do the templates, to do the mold, to do the design, to get the feedback, and to be a spokesperson of a successful, happy client. And we gave you guys a beautiful post that you did post yours already, because you said you had some people already respond. Am I correct?
Yes, I posted that same day and didn't realize, okay, you off. You posted this. So now I get why you said, no, I'll wait till tomorrow.
You posted on Facebook, right?
Yes.
Yep, on your business Facebook page. And then did you share it onto your, as we said, share it on your personal Facebook page? Good.
Yes, I did both. And then I put share. I did the hashtag share, because I wanted them to share it. And I did have some few people shared it on their page as well.
Okay. So now in this coaching session, you're at a place that I want all of our members to be at, which is that you've had response to the post and the copy and we provided and the hash marks and everything that we helped set up. Now you have how many that have responded to that?
I had one.
Okay.
Because I spoke with one over the phone, but he wasn't a good candidate. So so I do have one, and she's coming in Friday.
Okay.
For
so
her consultation.
I set up Friday for you to help kind of guide you through what's there. Remember that the ideal situation is it's about building that trust and that relationship. Now you already know that because you do it every day in your private practice. But in this case scenario, we want to really set the course for a model who eventually will be a client, but a model that will allow you to have, the process of training on her when we show you how to do some of the new looks and new designs we're going to create, as well as the fact that she's going to be open to the public to be able to be viewed from before and after and all of the emotional and rides that she's going to go through. With that said, we want to go to the client profile. Have you copied down your client profile that we provided out of our book in the manual?
I have it copied. Well, one of the ladies that's assisting me, she made a copy of it and typed it up for me with my logo on it. So when she comes in, so it can look professional. First of all, so the only thing that we have to get typed up now is her questionnaire when she comes in. But basically how I do my questionnaires are mostly electronic. So this is going to be the first time having someone come in and fill out something, because I normally have them to fill it out before they come into the practice.
Right. That's good. That's what we do as well here.
Oh, okay.
Membership, we did it kind of a step-by-step because not everybody's that tech savvy. And we want
to
those questions are designed from the book to absolutely address the questions first demographically. Where do they come from? How old are they? Where do they work? What's the email? You're capturing the data, which you do every day when you have somebody come in or electronically. Then the next series of blocks of questions are based on what and how they see themselves and how they see their hair loss. We want to be sure they're not in denial. That's, of course, why they're there, but that still has to get a little bit of bridge. Then any medical issues, and then any medical treatments that they're going through. The second part of it is the dialogue. The dialogue of first explaining to them, and this is most important, that this is not a standard consultation. It's a consultation/interview to become a model. And you want to then describe to them what you're looking for after, this is important part of this, after you do a complete evaluation of their hair thinning and hair loss. And you ask her for that agreement. She says yes. And then you say to her, I'm going to, before I do any of the evaluation, by doing some photographs as we taught on Monday in the coaching session, the photographs, because then we're going to take your photographs and help you design the hairpiece for her. So from the grade that you come out with her diffusion and from this pattern of hair loss, we're going to help you in the next series of coaching, step by step, create the right hair piece for her that's going to suit her as we design that at that point. So in turn, you tell her that's what you'd like to educate her on. So then you want to explain to her, and you can use the book again, either the consumer book or the professional book, and you probably do this in your trichology, what happens and why she's losing her hair, whether it's female pattern hair loss, whether it's an alopecia patient, when she's got trichotillomania, whatever she might have at that point. And you just want to educate her so that she keeps getting closer and closer and closer to that trust relationship. She's not there to like be put on the stage, because that's what they're thinking about when they think about models. You want to make that relationship.
Yes.
So then she may then at that point understand further, have some questions, and I take them through what I have in the profile. Give me your history. I like to get at least a clear window of that history and letting them unfold two things. When they started to see their scalp and where they saw hair. Number two, how their self-esteem began to become less and less and less. That conversation is dynamic for every individual. You probably have no problem with that, because from the first minute I met you today, in regards to personally, you have that personality that draws people to be comfortable. I think that's really going to really make it a wonderful experience for you. Now, after that point, you go through the head and do all of the photos that we showed. The most important part is then you sit down and show her those photos one at a time. And she's going to say, oh, I don't want to see it. But you're going to show her, because you're going to tell her about where you see a diffusion of 30% or 40% or 50%, like on the chart, and what she is experiencing in hair loss. And you're charting that. If you can draw any picture, like even a circle on the top of her head, and say, this is the area that we're going to be focusing in on, adding hair or integrating hair or putting duplication of hair, then she gets a much better picture, because she sees the negative from the photograph. And then she goes through the process of knowing that you're going to have the solution for her. Now, Monday, I don't know if you had time to see it yet or not, we gave you a whole series out of our master's program of consultation of women's top of the head, sides of their heads, back of the heads, and how to assess the hair loss. Have you been able to open that download that we did on Monday?
No, I was going to look at that this afternoon on my break, because I was out of town for trichology clinicals. So it had me busy in San Antonio, Texas. So I said, well, since I'm back, because I was getting dressed that morning, I almost was late for class. So I thought, let me get off right quick. So I said I was going to go back and look at the video. So yes, I'm supposed to do that today, to look at it today. And then I need to look at this morning, because I was in an early meeting at 7:30.
And that's because that'll give you, before she comes in, a whole series of the relationship of, let's say, pattern 1, which is in the area of the top of her head, the shape. And then she might have 10%, 20%, 30%, 40% diffusion. So every picture of the five pictures we provide for all of the different models in what you got in your download, there's a little chart that gives you the ability to give the stage of hair loss, the diffusion level, whether she's warm or cool color, and the framing shape of her face back to the manual.
Yes.
That's there, okay? So those two things will work together so that you can really make her feel like you're going to be painting a new picture of her. And that's really what we do,
Yes.
When you get to the point of price, because we're working with that on our coaching session this Monday, by giving her, you've got to give her something so that she has a value. She's not going to pay for it right now, but a value. You're going to use the terminology that's in our post for our makeover and our model post that you posted. It'll post it may cost anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 for what we're going to produce for you, and that we're going to provide for you at no cost if you're selected. Important word. If you're selected, be one of the models that we select in this program. And then she says, well, what is the program? What does the program involve? That you're in a master's program and you've already has the experience, but you have a master's program, and some of them are just starting, but you're in a master's program to develop your skills in hair replication, hair duplication, and hair integration. And with that, we need a model to be able to go through all of the training with us, from molds to designs to all the things that we're going to do. Then we're going to do it. Then we're going to attach it and put it on your head and go through that process. And we're going to photograph and video all along the way. And with that, then once we're done, we are going to then utilize that as a makeover story. And you'll see one on Monday, by the way, but a makeover story. And the makeover story is what you're going to be able to post in your consultation room to show a new consult. You're going to be able to do it on Facebook or Instagram and all the things that will help you from that point. But the other important part of it is this, that she knows that if she's selected, and that's when you want to give her the release, the model's release. Say to her that we want you to take this home, and if we call you and you're selected, then we would want you to be able to realize it's just 3 paragraphs that represent the relationship of us being able to use this in a good business practice level and nothing that would embarrass you. And the most
Okay.
important part I said, Kath, it's really important is this, that when you got her right there and she finds it's a solution, she's excited and she's getting more excited as she goes through the training and she gets the changeover. That window of time is when she's really the best suitable to be your model. Because once she gets very used to wearing hair and being seen in hair and being known to have hair, it's less likely that she's going to want to say, there's a few, but less likely to say, this is me before and after. You follow me? Except for your private use in your consultation room. So I say a new
Yes.
model is ideally for maybe a 3 to 6 month, 12-month at best, that really, that's why we do this. We do this in our private practice of model search at least 3 times a year.
Okay.
New faces, new stories, new impacts, and everything else. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it do.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, let me pause for a moment. If you notice, I don't like what I do, and I don't talk very much, but I'll give you a little bit of time to talk. Now your microphone is working. Why don't you try to give me any questions you have in regards to the consultation?
Okay, so you say you do this about 3 times a year, and if selected, she would go home with the model release form. So if she's selected, she needs to go ahead and sign that, and then we move forward from that point.
Sure.
So she will be used for all the marketing purposes, the persons that is being selected, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had that down, and so I can see with the history, we're building a profile on her, basically on her history. Now, I know the young lady that's coming in, she had bypass surgery.
Oh, yeah.
And she's experienced, and they normally experience hair loss. So she's experiencing that.
You want to capture her doctor, because you should do, well, you're going to get this a couple more months from now in one of the marketing programs that we'll be doing on the Hair Loss University, is we either have a representative or we go to a doctor's office like that, because bypass 100% of the time, both the surgery and the medication causes hair thinning, hair loss. So they are wonderful referral agents to you. But the reality is that you want to go through the pattern that we work with, where we call them up and how you set up an appointment and everything else. But all you need to do this time is capture all of your information right on the profile of the doctor's name, the location. And a lot of times I'll ask them to look in their phone and give you the address. So you got everything right there for the next marketing campaign, which is the referral marketing campaign.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I would love to do that. Capture her doctor's information.
Yeah. There's another byproduct to this that the listening audience and in our coaching sessions I've talked about, but I don't think it's recognized, is that if let's say that you had 4 or 5 models come. Now you could select all 4 or 5. That's a pretty big ticket of investment because of the hair piece. But you can have some that turn into become clients. Because if you put them through a full consultation and you educate them and you show them the design or talk to them about the design that you want to create for them, or that you're going to show them once they become a model, the design that integrates into their hair and all those things that we'll teach further, it really gives them a confidence, because if they're not picked, they still now know where to go to get the solution. So this is amazing. And when the model, annual models contract or their agreement ends in a year, they have to buy a new hairpiece. You're building in a future for your sales too. Does that make sense?
Yes, it do. It makes sense. So a question that I do have. So by placing that on my website, I did have 2 other people, but they were supposed to call the office. And I tried to direct them to call the office, because if you need an appointment from the doctor office, you call in the doctor's office and you make the appointment. So I want to do the same concept. I don't want you to be DM me behind the scene. No. I want it to stay professional and be on a professional level. So I did reach out to them and told them to call the office between Tuesday and Friday, and I gave them the time. Well, they haven't called yet. So now, how do you handle a situation like that? I mean, I know the doctor's office is not going around, in the phone book calling people and calling them up, but knowing that they reached out to me, one of them I do know personally. I could call her. So is that the next step? Is that's what I should do? Is give them a phone call in reference to them reaching out to the post campaign?
Kath, that is such a absolute mature question. I'm so grateful that you asked it. I know I probably wouldn't have brought that forth, because right now in the medical community, they have most of the big hospitals have, and dentists do this too, have hired telemarketers, I call it what it is, to confirm an appointment or to follow up on an appointment and really make that connection with them. So that's ideal, because you don't want to be DMing. I mean, that's one way, but then you become in a position that is less professional, like you just said.
Yes.
So
yes.
I would do one of two things, whatever tools you have. If you have their email, if you have their DM, if you have their phone number, then I would respond. If I have their phone number, I would respond with a professional text that I saw that you were interested in our models program. The time is running down. We'd love to be able to set an appointment for you. Here's what you do. And that gives the guidelines. In turn, the next step would be call that number. That would be the second best if they're not answering the text. I don't go only 3 times. If they don't respond after the third, put it aside. You're not going to have a model.
Yes.
And then if DM is the only thing that you have, do the same thing. Create a professional little paragraph that introduces them to your professionalism, introduces them to your phone number and contact at the office, and then go through the process of telling them that you just simply ask that you want to be seen for a consultation interview. So that becomes almost like a service. If you're on a computer, it will become a service, code, because it's not the consultation that somebody's coming in raw. It's a interview, which means you're looking for a model at that point, and helps you divide the new client that walks in the door versus someone who's been, moved by this marketing campaign that we've done.
Okay. So basically, with this consultation/interview, this is since we're doing it on a marketing purposes. So this is a free consultation that they're coming into because it's /interview.
Sure. And again, most people like yourself charge for consultations just like us. And so you can reference that in that little paragraph, and you will not be charged our standard consultation fee for your consultation interview. So you put together that paragraph that really gives them the ability on a text and or a email and or a DM, so that you can at least follow up. Because you know what? We're also busy. We're also much want this, but how many times do we don't do what we should do when we should do it and could do it, but forgot to do it? And that's what happens. You're not on the top of their brain at that moment, at that point. And I think that would be the ideal thing with those other 2 people.
Okay. So I will reach out to them, and I am currently in the process of creating a link, and it's going to be campaign consultation /interview, so that I could put it at a no cost. So that'll keep me on track with my book, with my books or whatever. So I can market them that way, because other than that, if they see my consultation price, they'll be like, but she told me she wasn't charging me, so why I'm getting this appointment reminder with this cost on them, and then they don't show up because they see that. So I got to go in here and create a link. A service up under the campaign interview consultation, so that they'll see that it says 0 cost.
That's right. That's very good. And you can also take and create a link to an opt-in page. Are you familiar with an opt-in page?
What type of page?
An OPT-in, opt-in page, where maybe I'll have Randy do a little bit of a explanation that in one of the coaching sessions, because what we do, now I don't want to confuse you or the audience watching, we've been doing this a couple more days than most people because we've been in business for over 40 years. But what we have now is what's called Book Me. It's a free service, Book Me, and you can get it online. It's just like I said, Book Me, and you set a calendar up and said, I'm going to take appointments for this on these days, like this week, because I'm doing the same program as you are. We're mirror imaging.
Okay.
So we got Book Me. So next week I have one appointment on a Monday open, blocked off in my book, but open for them to hit and say they want to be there. And then the second one is 2 of them on Wednesday and 1 of them on Friday. So I got a morning, midday, and a later day. And when they go on that Book Me, you can put the questionnaire right in the Book Me. And so they fill out their questionnaire. It flags you that you've got an appointment. It puts their name and information and sends you the email with all of that data in it already. So you're really prepared. And that ability for you then to call them to confirm their appointment the day before, so they're coming. And if not, ideally that you send a text about 2 or 3 hours prior the day that they have an appointment. That is exactly what the medical community is doing. So we're mirror imaging the professional level of medicine, because today's, let me share something with a psychologist that's on our team, learned when we did our last launch. We said we had closed the university as a pandemic because it became crazy. Everybody was closed. It was all over the map. And we weren't sure that we were going to open it up again. But we had so many of our, members calling and saying, we need help. We need help to get opened up again. We need to get our marketing again. So we went to work on restudying the avatar, the stylist in the marketplace that is doing this, like yourself. Well, trichology has exploded. That's become a bigger market than it was before the pandemic early on. Number 2, the customer has changed. They're the same person, but they don't think the same. They're stressed more. They're emotional more. There's so much difference. So we're restudying, and this is what the psychologist helped us understand, is we need to restudy, even if we'd had these same clients or these same individuals, restudy their habits, their emotional habits, those things that are there. That alters a little bit of our consultation, because again, how is our consultation? That's why we activated a fee for our consultation after the pandemic, because many people were starting to, not show up or, say they're coming. And that's a lot more loss than most people realize. At that point, you could be doing another. So in turn, you can look and Book Me. Just go online, put in Book Me, and it's an easy setup, and it gives you everything in one package. And you can put it in it. You can put it like into your Facebook post. You can put it into your Instagram post, whatever you want. Just the link, and it goes right into the explanation of the model campaign. And they fill out that information, and they click the date or time that they want to come in. And I think it really would streamline your practice.
Okay, because basically what I have now, I have a doctor's portal. So I do have that currently in TakeQ. So it sends out the reminders to them like a day before their appointment, and then a couple of hours before they get their reminder. So it's no excuse for you not to show up. I mean, because I have it in place for you to say, okay, I won't be able to make the appointment. It even gives them a phone call. They could get a phone call if they put their number in, and it'll let them know that they have an upcoming appointment to the practice.
Well, that's great. I mean, that really is. What software program are you using, Kath, for your practice?
I'm using for HIPAA compliance. I was looking for one because I was using JotForm, HIPAA, but then I had clients sending information, blood work and things to that nature through Gmail. So, things always getting hacked. So I was a little nervous with that. So I just invested into the IntakeQ. And with the IntakeQ, they're able to go in there and create an account so that we could communicate in the back through messages. I can also do a virtual consultation with them if need be through Zoom. and they can upload their blood work and any type pictures that they want me to see, and all that is safe that way. I feel a little bit more comfortable with that, and I think they do too.
Good. And it's called Intake, the letter Q.
The letter Q.
That's really good information for people out there, because again, some people don't have that, and to give them that kind of insight, that's what one of the things about the university. I'm a lifetime learner. I'm always learning, and I think
Me too.
that's exactly what I was going to say. Because you look behind you, there's never a stop, and I think that we become both always teaching and always learning, always teaching and always learning, and that's how we sharpen sharpen iron against iron. It really makes us really the best of the best at that point.
Yes, yes.
That's what I love about the membership. It's always funny because sometimes some of the newer members have brought some of the most incredible questions that create such incredible insights. And like this, maybe somebody would be asking, how do I get clients to be able to give me their information? And back to the difference in our business since the pandemic, virtual consultations didn't exist before the pandemic. That was not a thing.
Yes.
Every day.
Exactly.
Yeah. That is good. Now, who were you studying with in regards to your trichology?
I did my studies with USTI. And then to broaden it on a holistic approach, I do it under Tone. Trichology is on a mission with Nadia Hughes.
I love Nadia. She is the best in the world.
Yeah, that's where I just came from, San Antonio, Texas.
She is amazing, that girl.
She's forever learning, and what she learns, she instills and she brings it to us. So yeah, that's what we was up there doing clinicals.
Wow, that's good. We're going to have her on an interview very soon, because we want her to be able to become a part of the trichology department of training at the university, because then people can find them. Because we have a lot of people say, especially after they see this, they'll say, well, how do you learn trichology? How do I get to that point? And then that's the go-to. That's the go-to lady.
Yes.
So high hands to Nadia.
Yeah. Hi.
What have you noticed in the business structure? Have you noticed a increase, a leveling? Have you seen any decrease? What are you seeing in the business format of your practice?
Well, since COVID, it's almost a little slight decrease with hair replacement a little bit. I know there has been, some of the structures, because that's my issue now dealing with. Some of the vendors I was dealing with, I had no problem. And then I'm like, okay, did you fire all the good people? And now y'all bringing in people to try to retrain them, because one piece I received was just a disaster. I was like, what is this?
And how long did you wait for that hairpiece to come in?
I waited for about 3 to 4 weeks for that to come in, and it was a disaster. So, of course, the client, she was antsy. So, that cost me.
Yeah.
I had to give her, I refunded. I just gave her her money back. Yeah. Just for, integrity for my business. Because all it takes is that one to go out and just, she took my money, Okay, peace sake, here, So I just refunded her money back. Because it wasn't her fault. It wasn't my fault. I ordered from the factory that I usually order from. But so now I'm kind of like a little nervous. So now I want to be able to use a vendor that's been proven for a while, even though I know people come and go, and I know it's handmade. So anything handmade is not perfect, because none of us is perfect. So the thing is, but I do my whole practice, the way I do things, I want to provide quality service to quality people that I serve. So that's my whole thing. So if it's not quality to me, I feel like it's not quality for me to be able to give them that, because I do quality control as well to make sure everything is done well on their piece.
right.
So I kind of like the 3 that you had because I do have some moldings that I use, but it's a whole ring. I was like, let's downsize that a little bit because I believe doing it that way, um, and giving them so much information, I think on a customer level, it overwhelms them and they're not able to capture all that I'm giving them, even though I'm educating them.
Right.
So I think if I just downsize it to just those 3 molds that I like that you had, and I'm gonna order those molds so I could just use those molds in my consultation.
Yeah. And we're gonna share that with you with so much more because in the technical, which we haven't gotten to yet, that's next after we get the models. We're going to take you through the molding and the casting process. Then you will practice on your model. Then we're going to show you the design. I'm going to show you blueprints of the actual. You'll receive blueprints of each one of the 3 designs that I showed on the program. On top of that, we will then do a product review of the 3 or 4 manufacturers that can make those hair systems and what pricing should be and all the things that we can do to help you resolve. Remember one thing, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. I'm sure your mom told you that.
Yes.
And so, especially during this time of what's going on in the factories. And I did a earlier program on the Facebook and YouTube is what's happening behind the scenes in Indonesia, in Taiwan, in Vietnam, in China. And a lot of people don't have that opportunity. That's what we pass through at the university. But you don't want to get your head filled up with that because it's almost too much. But you want to know, where do I go that I'm not going to get cheated? Like right now,
yes,
they were bootlegging prior to pandemic to North Korea. I'm talking about in suitcases, your molds and everything else would search over the border, which is against the law and the restraints. And then they would bootleg it back into China. They would package it and send it to us and cut that off. Then it started up again about 6 to 9 months ago, and they just cut it off again. Well, in the interim of those people doing that, they lose hair pieces, they lose molds, they lose documentation, all kinds of things. And they're doing hair in their homes, not in factories that are controlled. So there's so much behind the scenes, and you're not going to be able to get that off the newspaper. We bring that news to our Hair Loss University of who is really developing and producing the best product at a fair price, even though we know those prices have increased at that point. So that's one of the benefits of being in the Hair Loss University, and it's almost like a police force because all of a sudden one of our members says, "Hey, I worked with this company, and they doubled my charge, and the hair tangled and it inverted and it looked terrible, wasn't the right color." And they told me, because that's what the factories have done in some cases. So we're gonna share that in our technical department training with you with all the members that will help not prevent all of them, but prevent a lot of it can hurt a business. It hurts your reputation and your profitability. So, yes,
exactly.
Good. Any other questions before we close on Friday's interview? I can't wait to hear from you on Friday afternoon or night. You gotta text me, tell me how it went. I'm excited because you're the first one out of the box, and I just want to see you succeed so much because you've done so much success in your career. I want to see the next success go even further because we're going to take that once you got that model. We're going to then show you how you utilize that on Instagram, how you utilize that on Facebook, how you utilize that in any of the other platforms, on your website, in your consultation room. You're going to see how that one can multiply your sales because no one speaks better to the woman who's sitting there that's going through what she's going through, like another woman, beyond the professional, another woman who's gone through what she's gone through. And that's what you're going to have with that process.
Yes. So I'm excited about connecting with the Hair Loss University. Even though I've been doing hair replacement and I just basically, so I'm still organizing things here because I was currently at a 650 square feet, but I knew I needed more space and I needed more privacy for my hair loss community. So therefore, I was able to get the space next door to me, which is a 1,300 square feet, which I have individual rooms now. Hey, so so now I'm able to I have two one hair replacement room and one hair loss, which I could kind of use both. But I do have one where I do hair restoration as well, and an image room. So that alone just allowed me to set everything apart, like the vision that I had for my hair loss community. But with that being said, I like to keep myself open, even though I've been doing it, but there's always a new way of doing something or improving on what you have already learned. So therefore, I always keep myself teachable with Nadia and also, now with the Hair Loss University. So doing it your way, yes, it's new. It's new for me, but I'm willing to take the challenge to see what it's going to offer, doing it this way. Because my way may be outdated. So, hey, let's try this way and see what I get out of the outcome of trying it this way with the Hair Loss University training sessions.
I'm so glad that you've joined the membership, and I know you're going to be. And I want you to think about this. One of the other levels that we have is called our platinum coaches. We get as you grow and develop skill sets, we bring you into the university and you become an instructor, and your own programs are developed right here in our studios that we have. So again, you're that kind of individual. I can tell immediately that you really have that professional, best of the best, exceeding expectations. And those are the kind of culture and character that we look for, especially in our platinum coaches.
Yeah.
Well, you were a gem. I know you were on vacation you were on training vacation, and you came back and you set this up with us. And I really appreciate it, because I knew there were so many people who had the same question, but you're going to motivate them because you have a real person, and they may have just gotten ready to push that button and post their post that we provided for them. And they're going to experience what you've already experienced. So you're a little bit ahead. So that'd be good, because then you can come back after Friday and say, hey, this is what happened, or that. And if it failed, then we work through the failure.
Yes.
You've done that. You've learned through that business. The staircase to success is failure, and get over it. And that's really where we want to help you. That.
Yes. And then another thing too, if they feel like they're afraid and they're not ready, maybe they can use one of their practice with a family member. Something, if you practice with a family member, maybe that'll help you to get out of your fear of being afraid, being scared. Maybe that'll break the mold, because you actually doing your consultation with the family member, so you don't have to worry about, oh gosh, I done messed it up, I done screwed it up, so maybe that'll help too. I mean, and then when they're ready to post it, then they'll have a level of confidence that may help.
I agree. That's a good point, because all of us in some of the beauty industry has started with family members, whether it was the first haircut, whether it's one to trust in the beginning. So that's a good piece of advice. That really is.
Yes.
Well, you have a very successful day, and I'll be praying that you have successful continual business, but also Friday, text me and let me know how everything goes, and we'll see you Monday on the coaching session.
Okay. Likewise, you have a wonderful day too.
You too. Thanks, Kath.
Okay. Bye-bye.